What's going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and like I said before, I'm going to be reviewing Jessica Jones and Daredevil. It's Daredevil time, so let's review Marvel's critically acclaimed Netflix original series, Daredevil. So if you haven't seen Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix, shame on you, you should go see it, because the short review is that it's fucking awesome. But if you haven't seen it, I will be going into spoilers at the end of this video. I'll give warning when I'm going into spoilers, so don't worry about it too much, but that is going to happen towards the end, so... But until then, it's all good. It's all going to be spoiler-free. It's all going to be peaches and gravy, as Scott Pilgrim would say. And if you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim and you don't know that quote, shame on you, because you should see you should see Scott Pilgrim too. But I digress. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, by the way, that's the full name. Go watch it. It's probably on Netflix. Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, I digress. Again, Daredevil. Let's keep the focus where it should be, and that is Daredevil. I guess I'll just give like a basic plot synopsis, or, you know, just kind of set up everything, you know, with the characters. Daredevil himself, Murdoch, as a kid he got chemicals spilled on him, and that basically gave him super hearing, and he can kind of see, but it's kind of hazy, but he can still tell where everything is, and he's basically not even blind, but still blind at the same time. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. He can hear everything around him from super far away. He can hear heartbeats. He can tell if you're lying. It's just really, really cool. It's really, really interesting. I like the way he uses his powers. And when he throws down as a martial artist, it's badass as well. And the basic plot is he's a lawyer, so he's, you know, very in tune with the legal system. He wants to fight crime. He wants to stop crime. But how does he stop crime when you're up against Wilson Fisk, who has everybody fucking paid off? Like, everybody. You don't need Kilgrave's power from Jessica Jones to control people. You just need that green, because he controls everybody with money. And it's super dangerous to go after him, because you don't know who's going to pull a gun on you, who's working for him, who's not, who can you trust. It's got all kinds of elements of those things I just mentioned. So with some good comedic relief, and the superhero elements you'd want to see from a Marvel series. And it's just, it all comes together to be a really good package. Talking about the characters very quickly, you have Karen, not much to say about her. She joins on around season 2 as episode 2, excuse me, as her secretary, and yeah, she's kind of headstrong, she's kind of stubborn, she's optimistic about taking down Kingpin / Wilson Fisk, but she's in over her head and she gets into some trouble, and that's basically the dynamic of her character. She's done well, she has good character development, and yeah, I like her to a certain extent, but there are some moments where it's just like, okay, I get it, but kind of just stop, please, because you're going to fuck things up. And then you have Foggy, who is basically Murdoch's friend since college, and he's under the impression that Murdoch is just totally blind, like completely. And he's a fun comedic character who has his good moments where he gets serious and has his development and everything, and he's a really good character, but it's his comedic relief really works, and, you know, sets the tone and everything just right, and everything comes together to really balance this show as what you'd expect from the Marvel Universe, but just really dark and really gritty and more violent. But you could still kind of see how it could fit in, though at first I could see why some people would say, does this take place in the universe? It does take place in the universe. It's just a lot different in tone. But some of the superhero stuff, and Foggy being the comedic relief character and everything, does help it fit in better than you'd expect. But with all that being said, I guess I can talk about the villains. Wilson Fisk, awesome. One of Marvel's best villains, easily. Excuse me. He's super intimidating, super badass. The delivery of his actor, I wish I knew the names of the actors, but they're like all a bunch of unknowns. Or at least they just did TV work before this, and I don't know who they are. But yeah, Wilson Fisk, love the way he has that anger just right under the surface. You know, he has it in his breath. It's awesome. He's a really, like I said, he's a really intimidating, really badass villain with really good characterization and really good development. His acting is intimidating. It gives you chills sometimes. At least for me it did. He's awesome. And then you have his, like, right-hand man, whose name I'm forgetting, and he's such an awesome character, so I can't believe I'm forgetting. I want to say Wilson, but I'm probably wrong, but that's kind of close. I believe it started with a W. I'm not too sure. He was really cool. He was really intimidating. He was a really fun villain to watch, and yeah, I really liked him. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the characters. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the tone and, like, just the technical aspects. the series looks great. You'd think it looked dingy and grimy and greasy because it's a shitty-ass part of New York, and it does, but they hit it with just the right mixture of lighting and colors to where it doesn't look too dark or too depressing. Like, it does, but you don't really notice because there's this nice mix of lighting, and it looks really nice. The action scenes are great. The sound design is perfect. Every hit feels really brutal and really badass. This guy is human. He has powers, but they're not super strength. They're not anything the Hulk can do. He has to stop to breathe every once in a while, and you feel that tension. He can get hurt. He can bleed. It's really, really cool. And, yeah, with all that being said, from a technical standpoint, it's shot really, really well in terms of lighting and everything. It's shot really, really well in terms of fight choreography. The sound design is on point. The plot is executed extremely well. And, yeah, if I had to nitpick and throw out some criticisms, some of the superhero stuff is a little too much. Like, you know, he has the suit made for him. And by the way, first nitpick right off the bat, don't like how the suit looks in the mask area. I think it just looks silly. I don't know how you do a Daredevil suit right. They haven't done it yet, because they fucked up with Ben Affleck too, but I honestly think Ben Affleck wore the mask a bit better, honestly. I think there's something about the mask just showing too much mouth. I don't know what it is. Too much jaw, too much mouth. I don't know, but yeah, the suit looks a little silly. That's a pretty big nitpick. I'm not going to detract too much for that. What I will detract a bit from, though, is how cliche some of the superhero stuff gets. You know, he's having the suit made, and he's like, it's going to be a symbol, and then you have the main villain talking to our main hero, and he's like, you know, oh, we're very, very similar, you and I, and it's just like, oh my god, just really cliche, and it's still a nitpick, it's still small, but it is pretty cliche, and it just bothered me a bit, but it isn't too bad. And my only somewhat major criticism, but not really major, is that the plot line with this old lady who has to move out of her apartment and lose her home because of one of Wilson Fisk's schemes, I didn't get too invested in it. When that plot line kind of kept carrying over from episode to episode, I was kind of just like, really? Is this really still going? Like, I didn't think they'd focus on it this much. It just didn't feel that important, but I guess it was important. So, yeah, I don't know. Jessica Jones has a problem with that, with one of its side plots too, but I'll talk about that when I get to Jessica Jones. So, yeah, those are my nitpicks, though. Honestly, I'd still give the series a 9 out of 10. It's absolutely fantastic. I think if you haven't seen it, you got to go check it out, especially if you like the superhero movies and all that. You know, it is a part of the Marvel Universe, so you're going to get some stuff in there. They leave a few dangled carrots here and there, but you still feel like you got a complete product. So, like I said, I give it a solid 9 out of 10, and yeah, I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the show yet, thanks for watching this video, and you know, give it a thumbs up, share it, you know, comment below what you think of the series, subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here, and I'll talk to you guys later. But now for spoilers. So I'm basically talking out of complete ignorance when it comes to this stuff, because I have no idea what the fuck's going on. But there was Madam, what was her name? She was Asian. It was a really generic Asian name. Madam Yang or something? I don't know. She's the Asian drug dealer, and throughout the whole series I felt that there was a dignity to her that the other drug dealer guys didn't have. And she had this symbol that she was putting on all her drugs, and she says she's going to go to her home, wherever that is, and the one, I think Wilson Fisk said China, and she said somewhere much farther, and she speaks like a shit ton of languages, and it feels supernatural. She said farther than China, and they're in, like, New York, so that's like, whoa, like, that's, like, what, alien, like, space, like, that's crazy. So I'm very, very curious what they're going to do with her, because that's really, really cool, really, really interesting. Then we have Stick, who is Daredevil's trainer. He's blind, but he does the same shit Daredevil does, and he was going after this thing called, I think, Black Sky, and it was like this little boy, and Daredevil didn't want to kill him, so he ended up doing it off screen. But what is Black Sky? What is, I think he mentioned the hand or something, I forget, or that's maybe what it's leading to, because I did a tiny bit of research after, because I was kind of curious. He talks to somebody in a room at the very end, or at the end of one of the episodes, and yeah, just cool setup for future things. I can't talk too much about them, but I wanted to mention them because they were very, very interesting, and they were really, really cool setup. So hopefully some of that stuff comes back in Season 2. I don't want to watch the Season 2 trailers, so I want to go in as fresh as possible. So if they are mentioned in the Season 2 trailer, I don't want to know. But Yeah, and season 2 starts up March 18th, and I'll probably review it every week. Or not every week. I probably review every episode once a day, because they'll all come out all at once, right? That's how the Netflix shows work. So I've never watched one of them at release, so I don't know. I think they all come out at once, right? So yeah, I'll review Daredevil, probably one episode a day, because they're pretty long, one episode at a time. And yeah, that'll be my reviews for season 2. So yeah, I probably should have said that before going into the spoiler section, because now only some people are going to hear that part. Whatever. Yeah, still stick by my 9 out of 10. I just thought those spoilers were kind of interesting. I wanted to give my 2 cents on them because they were very intriguing. So, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys think of Daredevil in the comment sections below. Tell me how it compares to the Ben Affleck movie. That ought to be funny. If you've seen the Ben Affleck movie, that is. Or this series. You probably have if you stayed this long. So yeah, tell me that in the comment section below. You can follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. Give this video a thumbs up or share it on social media. Both of those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already or if you like what you've seen here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.